All right. Hello, everyone. Eric Castillo here with Warrior Mindset and Motivation. And I'm here to talk to you, share some words with you and things, and talk about one of the guys I was with in the Army way back in the day in the early 2000s, Anthony Norwood. He's active duty Army, entrepreneur, doing a bunch of great things, deployed a whole bunch of places, Afghanistan, Iraq, and all the training stuff that we did down there at Fort Bragg with all that madness. So, Anthony, tell the people here watching a little bit about yourself so they get a little more insight on who you are, and then we can dive into some questions after that.
Yes, sir. No problem. So, like Eric was saying, we served together in the Army. I'm still active duty. However, I am on terminal leave right now, so
Okay.
I'll be fully retired October 31st. That'd be 21 years of service, man.
Oh,
So,
congrats.
yep, be retired from the Army, which I'll say is a bittersweet thing. I was ready to go because once you lose the love for something, it's time to let it go. So
Right.
I kind of lost that luster. Well, while the deployments going back to back and things like that, the body starts to get burnt out. Also, it takes a toll on your mental stability as well, especially being a combat troop.
Yeah.
When when we deployed, we didn't go sit behind somebody's desk, and get to chill out, and eat at freaking
Yeah.
restaurants and stuff like they do in certain places. We're in small outposts. You remember
Yeah.
those times with the little outposts where we barely had running water?
Yeah, I
Consistently.
remember. Hey, go over here. You need to go clear this real quick. Like, wait, has anyone been there? No? Oh,
No.
crap. Okay, here we go.
Okay, now you put me in a whole hotbed of freaking people trying to kill me. Got it,
Yeah.
understood. But also, like you said, I do. I am an entrepreneur. I run a fitness company as well as a conglomerate of investors where we teach different types of investment strategies, whether it's real estate, stock market, equity, stock market, and forex. And also, I do business coaching and mentorship through a company I started called the Black Sky Group, along with my business partner DeBoris Williams and Latrice Stokes. And then with Last Strike Fitness is a fitness company where I have fitness teams across the United States, man. A few partners there. The biggest one of note is Byron Clark out of Austin, Texas. Uh, he's he's the man right now for, for LSF. That's not public knowledge as of yet, but it will be once this airs. But he will be the man coming up here shortly once we get everything in place. But yeah, that's a little bit about me, man. Soldier, entrepreneur, just trying to make it in this world, man.
Yeah, oh, I hear you. So, like, what gave you the idea to start like the businesses? Was it like just sitting there like one day in the field, or or were you deployed and you were like, man, the heck with this, I'm starting a business? Or like, what gave you the idea? Was it both at the same time? Was it just one and then the other? Like, because I know I'm part of your Black Sky group. You asked me to join that one. I joined it. I don't know anything about stocks, but I like to listen to you guys talk. So,
Yeah.
but what gave you the idea for those? Like, was it both? Was it one? Like, how did it go?
So for the first one, man, honest with you, I had no formal education in business. My my education goes to the psychology world. I'm a psych major by trade. Okay, but I haven't
Mhm.
done anything with that. Yeah, I haven't done anything with it. Been in the army as an artilleryman, and then I went to the 131 side. That has nothing to do with psychology. But um, one day I was in the office and someone reached out to me and said, "Hey, I used to post workout videos online all the time. I still do it now." And she was like, "Hey, can I come train with you?" I said, "Sure, come on." So we started training together, and then she's like, "Yo, you need to be a personal trainer." I was like, "Nah. I never even thought about that. Like, just
Right.
be a personal trainer." I was like, "Okay, let's try it." So I tried it. Went and got the formal education for that. So I'm certified personal trainer, nutritionist, all that good stuff. I did that, and then we just started expanding. I had one client, now I had three. Now then it went to five. Now I'm packing out whole parks for like boot camps. Then we started popping up people across the United States because people started jumping on the train and said, "Hey, I like what you're doing with this fitness thing. I want to be a part of it." And that's how the company grew, man. That's how we came to inception. Like, there's
Right.
nothing that sparked me to say, "Hey, I want to do this." It just happened. It just happened. And
Right.
then
And that's
for
good. No,
For the
go ahead.
second one, for the Black Sky Group, that was something that my mentor, a guy by the name of David Rhodes, he's also out in Austin, Texas. He and I were having a conversation one day. He was like, "Hey, man, you really need to start getting paid off of your brain." I didn't know what that meant at first. So after conversation and doing some soul searching and thinking on my own, I said, "He's right." So essentially, I started, putting out stock market tips online, on Facebook, on social media, and then we grew the Black Sky Group with Latrice and my boy Will, and so now we have our own podcast too. Now we talk about
Nice.
we talk about entrepreneurship, we talk about investments, and that's the Money Talks podcast with the Black Sky with BSG. Money Talks with BSG is the name of the podcast. We're on all podcast platforms as well. Every
That's cool.
platform that you can think of, yeah, we're on it. Like Amazon just picked us up.
Nice.
Yeah. So we're on there
So
as well.
so now that ties me into like my next little question I have for you. Kind of rolled right into it. So like, how did you balance that being on active duty? Because being on active duty, they are demanding. You got staff duty, you got brigade duty, you got the field, you got details, any type of sergeant major detail, colonel detail, whatever pops up. So how did you maintain that balance and both like emotionally and mentally stay like okay?
Yeah.
How did you do that?
Right, really great question. So that was crazy. I just had this the episode of time management on my podcast last week, and I was posed the same question. So essentially, what happened was I switched over to the warrant officer side, and I'll tell you, I say that to say this: it's totally different on that side than it has been on the enlisted side. Because as a warrant, I come and go as I please.
Yeah, you never see them. They're always out somewhere.
Hey, that's what we do. We come in, we solve problems you didn't know you had, and we leave. That's just what we do. So, and also being a combat troop, you're not busy in garrison all day, every day. Unless you're on the, you're enlisted and they're giving you busy work, then yeah, I get it. You're out sweeping some motor pool line or whatever it may be. But as a warrant, I do my job and I leave. So I was able to balance my time that way because I was a warrant. I would be in my office. I didn't have anything going on at that time. I was working on the business. I was doing the business. So if you want to put it into perspective, let's just say I get to work for the Army at 9:30. From 9 to 4 was Army time, and I would sprinkle some my personal business in throughout the day as well. But once I got off work, from 5 to 11 at night, I was working on my own personal business. So it wasn't like I got off from the Army and said, you know what, let's go play video games and go have some drinks. Nah, I didn't do that. I went straight from Army to working for myself.
Right, and that's awesome right there.
And that's how I did it. And that's how it grew. And that's how I do it now. I mean, like I said, I'm on terminal leave, so I haven't done Army in so long. But now it's the challenge of balancing or with the growth of BSG. It's extremely difficult because it's a new market for me. Like growing a gym gyms plural, and doing the investment piece, it's two different worlds in the business sector. I knew how to market the training aspect and working out. I knew how to do that because I've been doing it all my life. I was an athlete coming up through high school and college, so I knew all that. But now I'm dealing with a different monster here with BSG, trying to grow this company to where it's essentially scalable to where we want it to be. So,
and I like that because I like how you mentioned the fact that when you were done with Army, you went straight to focus on this, because a lot of people will just be like, nope, I'm gonna go do this, play video games and things like that. Heck, I did it for a little bit too. Well, back in the day, I think we both did.
Oh, we all did.
There was some crazy times at Fort Bragg, but no, I like how, and you see as you get older, the mindset changes, and I like what you said is get paid off your brain. I like that. That's actually really, really good concept, because that's kind of what you're doing now. You're getting paid off your brain because you got to have the brain for the fitness to be certified, or you can hurt somebody, and then you got to be smart in the financial group, because I tried looking at stocks and I have no clue what's going on there. But I know if I put the work to sit there, if that's something I want to do, I
Yeah.
have people like you, and I have another buddy who has his own little Facebook group who does the stock stuff. And yeah, you can learn that stuff and you can get it. So I like that paid off your brain. I really, really, really like that. It's a really good motto. And I actually wrote it down because I'm going to use that
Oh, really?
later on.
Hey, shout out
Yeah,
to
I'm going to use
Rose,
that
man.
later on. I've got quotes
Please
and
do.
everything. So I'm going to, put a nice little, give you a mention on there when I do another video. So that's pretty good. Now, when you were coming up with these companies, I know you were doing stuff on the military. Did you come across any obstacles, like things that kind of like got in your way? Like, 'cause, when you're starting up a company, there's different types of things you got to go around over, or things are put on pause, or just the waiting game. So, what type of obstacles did you have to come across, both with your fitness and the Black Sky Group?
So with the Black Sky Group, not so much of obstacles, because Black Sky Group came into existence in April of 2020, this year,
Mhm.
during the whole COVID pandemic. So most people were teleworking anyway, and I hadn't put the uniform on in 6 months by that time. But anyway, I was teleworking. Come on, man. So, but with the Black Sky Group, I did run into a lot of hurdles, TDYs, field time, and deployments. So I deployed in March of 2019, redeployed November of 2019. So essentially about almost 8 months. That it didn't put me behind because I had a strong team in place, and that's the one. I know we'll probably talk about this later, but one of the biggest hurdles that I faced building a company, not for the military, but military wise, a lot of times like the TDYs, like you alluded to earlier about the training centers, going to JRTC, NTC, going to the field, things like that. That did throw me for a loop, especially when I had events that were scheduled months in advance. Then you'll come up, hey, we got to go to the field for 2 weeks. Oh no, what am I supposed to
Right.
do? So essentially, what happened is I would have to postpone those events. So that did throw a lot of wrenches in the equation. However, we were able to overcome those and still continue to keep moving and grinding. Because a lot of times people are running to a setback or issue, and what's the first thing they want to do? They want to quit.
Yeah.
First thing they want to do is quit. Like, oh well, let me tell you what the quitter's anthem is. The quitter's anthem is, it wasn't meant to be. They love saying that. That's the first thing they say. Well, it just wasn't meant to be because it didn't work out the first time. It wasn't meant to be. Fake news. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Hurdles are going to happen in the business world. Now, we talk about, I know I talked about it from the military piece, but from the just overall hurdles, the biggest thing I had a problem with starting out with Last Strike Fitness was building a proper team, getting a proper support channel in place. And what that means is getting people qualified to do the job that you hired them to do. Now,
Right. You got to have the quality versus the quantity.
sure, but at the same time, here's something else I learned. Even though you could be qualified at the job, doesn't mean you're a right fit for the company. You have to buy into my philosophy and also my why, which I express a lot. My why is what I sell. And you know what I'm saying? I don't sell you what I do. I don't sell you how I do. I sell you why I do it. That makes you a repeat customer, because now if that's the case, if you're bought into me as a person and my vision, either you're a customer or employee, you'll be loyal. You will be loyal. And those are teachings by Simon Sinek. He has a book called Start With Why. I would encourage any entrepreneur to read that. Read that book. I'm telling you, if you start selling your why, you'll have more loyal customers. So building a team was my biggest hurdle, because now one thing you want is predictability, stability, and what was my other one I always use? Predictability, stability, and accountability.
Yeah.
Those three things is what you want out of all your employees. And a lot of times if you hire people just because they're your friend, which I did in the beginning, you don't get those. And I almost lost the company initially. I almost tanked. I almost did. I ain't gonna lie to you. I almost did initially because I didn't have the right people in place. So then I had to start rotating people out and getting people in who knew how to do the job and also bought into what I was doing. Right. So then when that happened, bro, when I'm telling you, when that happened, it just that's what
it's incredible.
Same thing with BSG right now. We've assembled a team of people who have the same ideology. Now we know what we want to do. We understand the why. Why are we here? You know, the why of BSG is just to help people reach their goals, whether it's fitness or finance, you know, or even personal or business goals. That's the why of BSG. That's why I do this, to help you reach your goals. Right.
All right.
And if you're a person that wants to be on that team, that should be your why as well. This is why I'm here to work with BSG.
Right. Yep. That's awesome, man. So like when all that stuff was going on, like what did you do mentally to keep it together? Like you had all that stuff and, you know, going to the field. Now I know that takes a lot of a mental toll. So what things did you do personally to keep yourself kind of in check and balance so you don't spin down the rabbit hole? Or it's like when you're in the field and you have zero communication out there, you can't contact your team. How did you keep from going down that hole of like, oh, my team is this, or is the business okay? What stuff did you do to kind of keep it together?
Delegation. That will keep you sane. I struggled with that in the beginning. I ain't gonna lie, I did. I think every business owner just struggles with that in the beginning. But once you get comfortable with delegating tasks to your team, then that's how you will maintain your sanity. Trust me. Right. Delegation, man. Right. You have to delegate. And when I'm out in the field, even when I was deployed, I just delegated it all down. Hey, my COO, here you go. Here's what it is. And we talk weekly. I didn't bombard him daily. I didn't do that. I would contact him on a weekly basis just to get status reports. Hey, this is what was put out. Was this complete? Yes, it was. Got it. And once you build that trust with your team, like I said, they have to be bought in to what you're doing. And when people have a sense of purpose and belief, they will work their behinds off.
Right. Yeah. Now I was just about to say, like, the delegation is also, you have to have a sense of trust too, because you don't really, and it is when you find someone, you don't really know them. So it's like you have to really trust your gut, you know, and be like, you know, this person's good. So that way you don't have to worry and go down those spirals of freaking out and stressed out, or when you come back, your company's in shambles, things are missed. So I'm glad that you actually got to put that in place and actually just be able to focus on the mission down there, because it can get pretty intense at times, you know. Yes, so that's actually good that you were able to do that. And I know you covered your why for your for BSG. Go ahead and give me the why for the Last Strike Fitness. I want to hear Anthony Norwood's why should I join Last Strike Fitness?
Well, here's why. Well, the why of the reason I started is it's the same thing as BSG. It's I think for me, the reason I walk on this planet, my personal why, the reason I'm on this planet is to help people reach their goals. It's to assist people. That's what I'm here for. I think I really believe that. And that's why you would want to come to Last Strike Fitness anyway, for any personal training, nutritional, meal plan, anything, any of that, because any one of us who do it, that's why we're here. We're here to assist Eric and to reach his fitness goals. You know, that's why we're here. That is why, and that's what we portray. You know what I'm saying? When I wake up every morning and people always have like, man, why are you so happy? All this crazy is going on in the world. Why are you always happy? You know why? Because I get to walk in my purpose daily. You know what I'm saying? I walk in my purpose daily, and it's I mean, I'm compensated for it, yes, but I get to walk in my purpose on a daily basis, and that's helping people. Well, like I said, whether it's reaching fitness goals or financial goals.
That's perfect, man. I like that. I even wrote that down too. Walk my purpose daily. I like that. I'm writing. I like your stuff that you're saying. You're throwing some pretty good little catch notes out there and everything too. So I know that you're going through the process, terminal leave and everything. So where are you planning to reside after you're done? Are you staying there where you're at? 'Cause, you know, when people get out, they'd be like stationed in Georgia and then I'm going to Alaska. And you're like, what? You know, kind of someone off. So like, Are you gonna like centralize? Like, is there gonna be like a last strike HQ, or you gotta just gonna keep it how it is and kind of
So,
HQ is gonna be where you go, or how's
no,
that gonna work?
the HQ is actually, like I said, it's not public record yet, and it's not complete. But the HQ is actually going to be wherever Byron Clark is.
Okay.
Yeah, wherever he is going to be the HQ. But we haven't. That's not complete yet, but it's coming. We're going to make
Right.
that happen. But wherever
And
he's
that's
at,
needed.
that's where the HQ. He is essentially going to be the CEO of the company. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And well, what's crazy? It's funny that
What's that?
a lot of people don't know the difference between a CEO and an owner. They think it's the same thing. No, it's not the same thing. A CEO, you run it, you just run it. The owner, hey, I can be hands off and everything. Yes, I am the owner, president, but the CEO, he is the guy who sits there and, hey, every day, all day, this is what you're gonna do. He runs the company, and I have great trust in Byron to do that. And the reason I did that is because I had to focus more attention on building BSG.
Right. And that's actually good. I never even actually looked at that perspective, a CEO versus an owner. I thought they were the same thing, to be honest with you. So I like that perspective that you put on there. Like, okay, yeah, CEO he's the executive guy. He makes everything happen, and you're the founder. Like, hey, I'm here. This is what I would like. Go make it happen.
I'm
Kind of
out.
goes into the delegating thing. Gives you a chance to go to your
Exactly.
different places for Last Strike Fitness, and kind of go to different facilities and check up on things. I like that. That's actually really, really
So
good.
you can even put it into an Army perspective, right? Us being veterans, you know how you have a commander, you have an XO,
Yeah.
and then you have your S3, your operations officer. You can break it
Right.
down like your commander will be the owner, gives us guidance or whatever. But
Yeah.
the XO is the one who implements all of that stuff. Your
Right.
XO guy who's out there actually pounding pavement for that unit, right? And then you have your S3, your operations officer, who's in charge of operations, which would be your COO, your chief of
Right.
operations, right? And then your CEO is your XO.
Right.
That's how
Okay.
yeah.
That's actually a pretty good breakdown. Now my brain gets it, because sometimes I'm still stuff doesn't translate all the way. So that's
So
actually a good breakdown of the way you break that down. Now that makes more sense. So for everybody listening, just know if you want to own something, there's a difference between a CEO and an owner. And Anthony
yeah.
here went ahead and made that really, really clear. And I like that. That's actually really, really good. So what's one thing here for the people as we start to wrap up this show here in a few minutes? If you can send a message to both veterans and civilians, because I got both communities here that will be watching this. What's a message that you would give to them if they're thinking about entrepreneurship, or if they're on the fence, or anything? What's a message you would like to pass to them?
So especially if some of your audience has heard my podcast, I'll just regurgitation of this. If you're an entrepreneur and you're saying you want to get started, you want to do whatever it is you want to do, my message to you is go do it now. Tomorrow's not promised, and tomorrow may not be better than it is today. Your situation may not change over the next whatever, go do it now. Go get started now. And make sure you have a passion for it. You know what I'm saying? Look at you, understand your why. Write it down. All right. I'm gonna tell you, my mentor, my business mentor, he asked me what my why was. And you'll sit there, you're like, oh, it's this, but it's not that simple. And the reason I couldn't articulate my why because I was thinking about it too hard. I got my why when I felt it. I was sitting in the house in my office. I'm in my office now, in my home, sitting in here, and I was looking at some charts, looking at the stock market, and I just had a pit in my stomach, and I just started writing, and I wrote my why out. Yep, I wrote it, and I was like, that's it. And I have it sitting on my whiteboard, and I'm gonna read it verbatim off my whiteboard over here. It says, I want to be an intricate part of enhancing or building a person's financial or fitness foundation. Essentially, I just want to be there to help you reach your goals. That's what I want to do. And when I felt that in my stomach, I wrote it. So my advice to entrepreneurs who want to start, man, become one with your why, walk in that why, which is your purpose, and you will be successful. Because then it's not a job to you. It's like, this is what I'm put on this earth to do. Everyone has a purpose, right? Remember, and another thing is, when a lot of times people get discouraged because they fall into the trap of criticism. Always remember, you had a purpose before someone else had an opinion.
That's good.
Yeah.
Like that. So you hear it there, people. Know your why. Tomorrow's not promised. Yesterday already happened. And the only thing that's guaranteed is right now. Right now is the only thing that you can guarantee 100% at this very second. As the second goes, it's a promise. You can do it. But once it's passed, that's it. It's done. So,
Yep.
and,
Go do it now.
And Anthony, Anthony nailed it right on the head. Go do it now. Don't wait. And like I always say, different strokes for different folks, But the longer you wait, someone else is gonna take it, and then you're gonna watch someone else do what you want to do. And then now you might have to come up with something else. And now you're gonna be
agile, or you got to be agile. That's it. If someone else takes your idea, you just got to figure out what makes you different. What makes you different from them? Like, so I'm expanding on that for a second. So when I started training as a personal trainer, what I was doing, I would go to different gyms, and I would work out, but I would still kind of look at the trainers they had in there, and how they were treating their clients, and how they were conducting business. I would watch, and I'm gonna tell you, 90% of the trainers that I would watch in those gyms, they treated their clients as if they were just a folder. They'll train them and get out. Yeah, that's it. You was treated like a folder, like a number.
Well, right. No personal connection.
Exactly. So with my trainers, no, we're not doing that. You would treat them like humans, and watch your clientele grow. And sure enough, it does.
Especially when it's someone who's trying to get in shape and lose weight. They just want to be heard and they want to be pushed, but they want to be respected at the same time. So,
and a lot of times,
sounds like you guys do that.
Yeah, and a lot of times when you have these clients, they like to talk. Like, they come in the evenings, they had a bad day. They're gonna vent to you out of working out. Trust me, do it all the time. And if you're treating them like whatever, dude, or I've seen trainers that have a person on the machine doing something, be over in the corner doing this on the phone. I'm like, you're not even watching your client, dude.
Right.
You're good. Now, so when I would train, people would see me treating clients like people and actually having some human engagement, they would come. I wasn't trying to take the other man's clients, but they would see my clients' results and how they were being treated.
Right. And I think that came too from, like, when we came up, when we would do our PT in the morning, our physical training, our leaders were engaged with us. Mm-hmm. If someone was in the back or slacking, they were right there. Right. Let's go, hurry up, run, push, motivation and pushing. Okay, what's going on? Take a second, talk to me. Why aren't you pushing yourself? And I developed that going through my career. Like, okay, someone fell out. Why did they fall out? Are they hurt? What's going on? And then it's neat. And I see that you've incorporated that too. And I think a lot of us from that time period in that unit kind of did that with that mentality of, hey, you know what? Sometimes maybe they just need to talk while they're doing something, and kind of just watch them and let them just vomit everything out, because then they feel better. And then they'll work for you and they'll push for you.
Yeah, sure.
Because they were just heard. They just wanted to be heard.
I'm gonna tell you, man, that's a perfect segue to this next point with the Army and being a businessman, how that helped me a lot. In the Army, you deal with all types of people, all walks of life. Races, creed, colors, religions, doesn't matter. We're in the Army, you're a freaking melting pot of all of that. So you come across all those types of people. So I don't know how it's possible for you to be racist to be in the Army. I have no idea. Yeah. But exactly. But it exists. Trust me. Huh.
Yeah.
Been there, seen it up throughout my whole career. Mm-hmm. But in the business world, that helped me out a lot, because now you deal with all types of walks of people, all types of people. And had I not, had that military experience and dealing with different cultures, religious creeds, I wouldn't know how to conduct myself around those types of people. I'm like, oh man, I don't know what they're talking about. I don't even know how to conduct myself around it, But being in the Army, it set me up for success in the business world in that aspect. It did. So
Right.
yeah,
And I know that too, because once I worked over in the headquarters side, having to deal with crazy officers, tracking down warrant officers because they don't come to work,
what?
having
Hold on, son. We always
having
at
to
work.
find them, and send an email, and then I got to go to their office and find where they are. Like, hey, I wrote you 3 days ago, sir, man. What the hell? You know, like, so, and then that kind of prepared me too for this type of thing. It's like I'm gonna request and follow through, and then if you don't follow through, I'm gonna come find you. You know, so.
Oh man, the warrant officer thing, golly. Hey, I'm gonna tell you, no lies detected, because I was like that too. Look, I'm gonna tell you, as a warrant, I'm gonna tell you, as a warrant man, we do our jobs and we leave. That's just what it is.
I have no complaints with the warrant officer. It's just finding y'all is the problem.
But like I said, once our job is done, I'm out. Look,
oh yeah.
I had a philosophy. If I hadn't done anything productive in an hour in my office at work in the Army, I would go home. I'm not sitting around there all day wasting time.
You couldn't even dream to do that in the enlisting side.
Oh,
They'd call you. They go to your house like, hey, where are you at? And you're like, oh, like it's lunchtime.
Yeah. On the warrant side, bro, I'm telling you, and that feeds back to the question when you asked me how did I balance a lot of that. That's how. If I I mean, now when it was time to work as a warrant, it's go time. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted. You know, we have a lot of good perks, but you have to be the subject matter expert in your field, and you're expected to be that. When that commander comes, you better be right. We're the only people in the Army that can't give the answer, I don't know, I'll get back to you. We can't answer like that. We have to know. And you better be able to cite the reference too.
Yeah.
So, you know, don't get into it. The warrant officer, we're the brainchild of the Army. Well, we do have our perks.
Right. And I worked with a really good warrant officer too. She was worked with the ammo, and she always had an answer for me, no matter what. Like, she was never there. I don't know what she was doing, but when I called, she answered the phone, and okay, I'll be right there in 20 minutes. 20 minutes? Where are you at? You know, like, but she would come, boom, boom, get it done, and go. And that kind of ties into the business aspect of too. It's like with work, and now you're stepping back as a founder. It's like, hey, CEO, here's what I need. I'm going back into warrant officer mode, and I'm gonna go do something else.
Yeah, as the founder and president of the company, I will be completely hands off. I've already written a philosophy for the company. I wrote that when I first started. All he has to do is come in and pick it up, tweak it if he likes. You know, you have that freedom to tweak it. Hey, I'm such and such. I'm running the company now. Here's my tweak to the philosophy. This is what he could do. Then run it. I mean, of course, I would be like, yeah, man, I like it, but I'm not gonna let somebody run my company to the dirt. But I will give him free reign to do.
Right, yeah, and that's where the Army comes in too for spot checks. You know, we do that all the time. Let me come spot check you real quick. You know, dual independent checks and all that stuff. And I know you'll do that because you're a squared away guy, and you'll come in and pop in from time to time to make sure stuff's staying on course. So, because at the end of the day, it's your name on the title, and you want to be up there, you know, and compete with all these other businesses too. So, I think we're good here, and I just wanted to say thanks for coming on. And the message for everyone is start now. That's the message. Start now. That if you didn't get anything from these 33, 34 minutes, start now. 2 words. That's all you need to get.
Go now.
Go now. Start now. Go now. Don't wait. Look, they're all 2 words. So go ahead, make it happen. Anthony, appreciate you coming on. It was great to catch up with you after all this time. So so it was nice. And everybody, thanks for watching, and stay tuned because I got something big for you guys next week on Thursday. I got something pretty big for you guys. It's something that's going in motion. So hope to see everybody next week. Anthony, thanks for coming on and sending that message to all the viewers. Appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, bro.